spooky friends, and welcome to Storytime with the Scariest podcast.
Woo!
I'm Robin Grace, and this is Adam Diaz.
Hello.
And we're here to read you some homegrown horrors today.
You know what my favorite part of all the episodes are? My favorite part is that awkward silence where the curtain has come up and Robin's waiting to say hello to everyone, because I'm like, this just feels like it's lasting an eternity. And then finally she says it, and I'm like, I feel like it wasn't that long. But,
it's like a second.
It's like a second, but it's the longest second, because I'm like, has she frozen? Is this all going downhill? What's about to happen? But like Robin said, we are going to be doing the homegrown horror stories that you folks have sent us. And for those of you who don't know what those are, it's like a spiritual or a spooky or a ghost story or something really fun.
Paranormal experience.
Paranormal, stuff like that, that you want to share with us. And if you have something that you would like to share with us, you can email us at storytime@scarish.com. You can also go to scarish.com and click contact us. And there's a form that you can fill out and send it directly to us, which has been working really well. And you guys have been sending us lots of stuff. And if you want to go the Facebook message route, facebook.com/scarish podcast is where you can find us. From there, you can join the Scarish Spooky Friends group if you want to post your story to the wall, or whatever it's called, and get some instant feedback from the community. You can also join Discord if you would like. I see someone saying Robin's hair looks awesome. I was telling her she looks really good this show. So you're welcome to everyone watching us live. And you can go to our Instagram, which is @ScarishPodcast, or our Twitter @ScarishPod. Discord is fun too. I really enjoy our Discord server.
It's like every day someone's talking in there, so it's really nice when I don't get the opportunity right away to go in there. I am happy that there are people like interacting with each other.
We had someone jump
awesome.
in that was just like, hey, I'm just stopping by to say I love you guys. Like, I'm a total ghost in this Discord, but I'm still here. And it's like, they've been around forever and they just don't really talk that much. They still read stuff. And I think that's kind of how I am. Like, I jump in every now and then, especially because people will talk directly to me. But it's not an obligation, and you can just kind of stay in touch with the community, which is really fun.
Yeah.
Best way to find the Discord server, go to scarish.com, and if you scroll down on the right-hand side, all of our social media links will be right there, so you guys can just click the Discord icon and join us, which is super fun. So cool. That said, I think I'm going to go first for the first homegrown horror of the show. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So this first one's subject is The Dream. Nope, it's a nightmare, I think. So
that's the title.
That is the subject. Okay. Yeah. So I don't know. They don't really know what this is about. So let's find out. And it starts out like this. Hello, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. And then also after that it says hello again in like quotation marks. So it's like hello. Not sure what they're trying to represent. My name is Cooper, and I've watched you guys for a year now, which is weird because we just hit our 1 year mark. So rounding up a little bit there, Cooper. But that's okay.
Well, maybe they watched
Have you been watching us for a year?
This was
Netflix.
Nerd Chill.
I'm like, what are you talking about? We have a Netflix show that I don't know about. Where's my check? But okay, let's just keep going. And I thought it's time to contact you and tell you about my spoopy-ish.
Okay.
So, okay. And then it says, I'm sorry after that, and you don't need to apologize. Just go ahead and communicate with us. I was about 7 when my grandma died. That's super sad. The last memory I have of her in real life is playing Angry Birds with her. 3 days later, she passed away. A week after I went to my room and it smelled of her perfume, which comforted me. I've had like scents from my childhood hit me out of nowhere sometimes. I was at an amusement park when I was like a teenager.
Yeah.
And I smelled something and I'm like, I feel like I'm a kid again. Like,
was it
like
popcorn?
I'm 6. No, it had to have been someone's perfume that reminded me of a perfume or something that someone wore. So like that's olfactory, like memories are the strongest memories. They just hit you out of nowhere and it just makes you feel super nostalgic. That night I had trouble sleeping until I saw a glowing figure of white with the outline of an old woman. My child, you're dreaming. Okay, and it looks like there's gonna be some dialogue here, and the response to that was, who the hell are you, bitch? Which just seems kind of rude if they look very angel-like to go with who the hell are you, bitch. But hey,
everyone's got baggage.
Everyone does. After I said that, the room got dark. The figure then said, we aren't alone. Who the hell can be in the room other than this ass who entered my dream without consent? And they reply to this figure, who else can be here? After I said that, she dimmed and a dark light came from another corner of my room. I looked back at the good ghost and I saw her figure. And then this is dialogue again. Grandma Dee Dee? And then the figure responds, yes, you must run now. I will follow. So this is just a super intense, really vivid dream after someone passed away. As soon as she said that, she grew dimmer and more transparent. I looked back to see the dark ghost, and they were brighter in a darker, brighter kind of way, which I don't know what that's like. I
just imagine, when you first start some video games where they're like,
adjust the brightness.
Yeah.
Adjust the brightness
So
till
you
this
can just
logo is
see this
just barely
little-
visible.
yeah.
Every time I see that on a video game, like, fuck you. And I adjust the brightness all the way. I'm like, there's nothing I won't see. Because The Walking Dead, the Telltale game, it
Yeah.
did that shit. And there's one point when you're walking through like a sewer or a basement, and I couldn't see a fucking thing. And after that, I was like, you know what? I'm adjusting that scale all the way up. So apparently this ghost is adjusted its scale all the way up to be super bright while being dark. Okay. I got up about to run, and before I got off my bed, the spirit's mouth opened 5 fucking feet, and they screamed in the most terrifying voice, "Your time is sooner than you think. Accept your fate." And
What?
then, yeah, that's super creepy. And this is the response: "Who the fuck are you, and how do you know my name?" I don't think I would respond. I think I would just run and not come back.
Stop stalking me.
Right? You're obsessed with me.
Oh my.
And without opening its mouth, the air whispered as if he was the air, "I know everything about you." Shout out to Sammy Lynn, who just subscribed. We appreciate that. Let me see. Where was I? Okay, I got up and bolted the fuck out and fell down and down and down and then black. Then I woke up. Okay, so this was a dream, and it just seems like it was super horrible. My pictures of me and my friends were cut face out. So apparently they woke up and they had faces cut out of their pictures.
That's
my
really
sheets on my
creepy.
bed were ripped, and there were scratches on my body. The most scary thing was on my arm, was scratched out, and this is all in caps: "Sooner than you think, bitch." Which sounds
Sounds like
like Scary Terry. Let's be honest, you're being haunted by Scary Terry
you can run, but you can't hide, bitch.
from Rick and Morty, and it seems very unlikely. Anyway, I have more scary stories. Robin's drinking, by the way, everyone, so she seems a little loopy. It's because she's having alcohol tonight, which we should probably do more often. Anyway, I have more scary stories, and just to torture you guys, I'm going to say email me back and I will send more. Please give my YouTube channel a shout out. Sea Monkey, as in the letter C and then the word monkey. So we just did that. I've done 2 Ouija board videos, and after the second one, it disappeared. So it sounds like someone stole it from you because they don't want you to keep doing it. Quick thing before I go, it would be dope if you read this live and put it on Spotify. Well, we just got done reading it live.
So it'll be on Spotify.
And it will be on Spotify. So there you go. So that's the end of my first one. And I will say that I appreciate everyone's opinion when they tell us like what they think of our stories. And like we've said before, it is up to the audience to decide.
Yeah.
We're just the conduit that's going to read you folks what gets sent to us. Some of them come in and we've had like them been vetted before, where it's like, this one doesn't really seem like a story as much as it seems like a short story.
Yeah.
And so when that stuff happens, we leave it up to basically my mom. And shout out to my Aunt Ree, because she helped edit today.
Yeah. Oh, it's like guest.
Yeah, we had a
guest editor.
A guest production assistant. But yeah, we leave it up to them to let us know, like, hey, like, we sent you the stuff. Like, if anything gets left out, they let us know why, and then we'll respond accordingly. And that said, I want to give one quick shout out to everyone who's watching us on YouTube and Twitch, because as you guys know, we provide a little bit of extra content for the live streams and more personal opinions on that one. And I will say that last story, if you were sitting there thinking, this is kind of bullshit, I understand that. But I'm still going to read it to you guys so you can hear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, that's a lot of fucking letters to carve into someone's arm without them waking up. I've written on people's faces and stuff like that, and you run out of real estate really fast. So that's a really long message to be said. And I don't know. Scary Terry has all those claws. So who the fuck knows? Let's give a quick...
Girl Panic's like, aw, bitch.
So let's get on to Robin's first story of the evening. Are you going to do a long one to start out with? Because we have some really
All
long
mine
ones
are long.
tonight. So
Every single one of mine are long.
yeah, they are. High five. Fine, don't high five me.
All right. So I don't know why that deserved a high five.
Alexander says, do you guys have a P.O. box over on YouTube? We do. If you go to scarish.com and click contact us, you will be able to find it. And if you want to send us some stuff, we request no severed heads or explosives, but the rest is good to go.
Keep Gwyneth Paltrow in one piece.
Yes, we don't want Gwyneth Paltrow's severed head here.
But we should start adding the P.O. box to the descriptions in the YouTube videos, though. I think that'd be great.
That is smart.
All right.
I'll do that.
So this email begins, "Hi, guys.
Hello.
Hello. I'd like to share 2 scariest stories that have happened in the last 2 nights. You can totally share them on the podcast."
That's good to know.
Thank
Because
you.
we're about
Yeah.
to.
I was going to say it was like total a struggle last time when we didn't check.
Yeah, the live episode, not the live episode, the episode 53 that just came out yesterday. Yeah, we recorded us reading almost an entire email and then had to stop because at the end it's like, don't read this on the podcast.
Yeah, we were like, oh crap.
We're like, shit. Okay, well, let's get another one in the middle of recording.
So if it sounds a little...
No, I did beautiful work.
Oh, it was beautiful?
It sounded great.
So just like you.
Aw, that's so sweet. I had to take out that. There was this part in it where they talk about how much they appreciate, like, how we encourage people to be themselves. And then we had this 5-minute long tangent where we were empowering everyone to be awesome. And I had to cut it because it made no sense context-wise without the email.
Yeah.
So we love all you guys, though. Be yourselves.
Yeah, be yourselves.
You do you.
That's why we posted the thing about the light, bringing all the weirdos.
Yeah, let your weird stuff
Yeah.
go. Let your freak flag fly, so to speak.
I like that.
You do you?
Yeah, whoever thought of that saying first ever.
It's a lot of Fs. A lot of alliteration on F.
Okay, so I'm not completely caught up because grad school started back up, but hopefully you're still taking stories. We will always take stories.
Absolutely.
I hope you enjoy it, even if you aren't. We are, so it doesn't matter. I was like, wait a second, hold on, let me register this context. The first happened when I was lying in bed with my cat. She absolutely loves playing with ponytail holders. Me too! If you look around the floor all over the house, there's just little hair ties.
Oh, I thought you meant you love playing with ponytail holders. Like if I toss one in the air, you'd be like,
No,
with
our
both of you.
Our cat, for some reason, she destroys hair ties like it's nobody's business. And
it's more cost effective than what she used to do, which is destroying cords.
Yeah, like phone cables.
Phone cables. She used to destroy headset cables.
My laptop cable now has bites all over it.
I used to have a very expensive Razer mouse. I bought it twice. It's like $150. She killed both of those. So yeah, I think hair ties are the way to go because that's like a 50 pack for like what, $10? Super cheap.
I don't know.
It's way better.
Okay.
But yeah, same. That's what we're saying.
She's tossing it around the bed and chasing it while I'm on my phone. All of a sudden, she starts looking around and meowing like she lost it, so I dig around for it. I can't find it, even though I shook the sheets out and tossed all the pillows off the bed, so in my best baby voice, I tell her I'm sorry, and I'll get her another one in the morning. I lay back down, and then a few moments later, she starts chasing something again. I just happen to look up in time to see a fucking brown recluse go skittering across my blanket.
I don't like this story. Ooh. Quick shout out to Lee Eve. They just followed us on Twitch. Thank you so much for following us. Fuck brown recluses.
That's poisonous, right?
Yes, it's super poisonous. I appreciate that everyone has different things that they like, and I know some people personally who have pet spiders, and we have people that post them in the Omen Babies channel on our Discord. That said, like, I understand that they can show you affection and all that fun stuff. I will never get over my irrational fear that spiders are evil and here to kill everyone. And just hearing brown recluse makes me fucking cringe. I hate it.
I screech and jump out of bed looking for literally anything to smash it. And by the time I grab a shoe, it's gone. Just disappeared. And I stand at the foot of my bed, wielding my shoe like a sword for a while before I get up enough courage to shake my blankets and pillows out again. I wouldn't shake it out. I just burn everything.
You wouldn't shake it out? You just burn the house down?
No, but it's like, okay, say it's still on your blanket somewhere. You can't see it. And then you're shaking it out, and you shake the spider, and it jumps on you.
You have to just be careful about how you're shaking it. Like, if you've seen a spider that deadly in your home, and it's, like, in the room with you, you have to at least kind of look for it. Like, we were in a hotel room, and there was that one giant spider on the ceiling that I tried to kill, and it jumped. So I jumped out of the way, and it landed behind the bed, and I had to move the whole fucking bed just to find the thing.
Where was that?
That was in San Diego before we went to SeaWorld.
Oh.
Yeah, and it was horrible. I hate it. I hate being the person that has to hunt spiders. When I moved out of my parents' house, I'm like, oh, I can't call my mom to kill my spiders anymore. And then I moved into a fucking apartment with two people who were all afraid of spiders, so I still had to wind up doing it. It's horrible. I hate spiders. I'm sorry. For anyone who's a spider lover out there, I apologize to you profusely. It's just who I am.
Okay, so I seriously contemplated sleeping on the couch or crawling into bed with my sister because how the heck am I supposed to sleep with a spider in my bed? I never found it, but I grabbed my cat's face and looked deep into her eyes and said, don't you dare let that thing crawl into my mouth in the middle of the night. And for the last 2 nights, she slept next to my face.
Aw. Pets understand stuff, man. They really do.
Okay. And she says, I'm trying not to think about it much.
I'm trying not to think about this email at all.
Oh, really?
It's going to leave my
Too much
brain as
spiders?
soon as you're done reading it.
My second story happened last night. I was home alone and doing random things, not cleaning like I was supposed to, and all of a sudden I hear something upstairs run full sprint from my sister's room to our stairs. It was a spider.
I'm going to say, is that spider? It's fucking giant now.
I'm walking down a hallway that ends in the living room where the bottom of the stairs are, so I freeze. I'm staring at the end of the hallway and listening harder than I've ever listened before in my life.
How do you amplify your listening skills? Robin's cupping her ears for those of you that are listening. I was thinking like trying to strain by like, I don't know, like clenching your jaw really tight. I don't think there's a way to like really focus on it.
No,
except,
that's
like,
how you
mentally.
do it. Or you put the cup
You put the cup where?
on your ear.
But she's just in the middle of nowhere, so she can't put the cup anywhere. She's just going to put cups to her ears?
So you use your hands.
Okay, so just put a cupped hand behind your ear is what you're saying.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why our ears are shaped the way they are. You know that, right?
Sure, yeah.
That's why
Totally knew
dog
that.
and cat ears are like this. They're like little satellites.
Are they?
Yeah, because it catches the waves, the audio waves.
I wish our ears could move around like dogs and cats because they can just like adjust to the side like 90 degrees. Like I heard something there, and their ears just move.
Yeah.
Just keep reading.
Okay. I lost my spot. Hold on.
Okay, we're all holding on.
Da, 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 da.
Swampy Boy over on YouTube says, I have 4 tarantulas and 4 jumping spiders. You're just good for you. Someone out there has to love these creatures, and I can't do it, and I'm very ashamed of myself that I can't. Then I just can't. I'm telling you, man. They fucking creep me out so much.
So you can't come down those stairs quietly. So if there's something there, I'd hear it, even with the TV playing. The entrance to the attic is in my sister's room. So in my mind, it's totally plausible that something or someone came down from the attic.
That's fucked. It's better, though, that the entrance to the attic is in your sister's room.
That's why I'm so happy we chose the room without the attic entrance.
Yes.
Because no.
We had 2 choices of rooms. One of them was slightly bigger and had the attic entrance, and the other one was slightly smaller with no attic entrance. So we went with the one with no attic entrance, that was the right decision to make.
Yeah. In all of 2 seconds, my mind bounced from, do I make a run for the door? No, because I have to pass the stairs to get to the back and the front door. Or do I try to get out through the basement? Never go in the basement. Do I find a gun? It's Tennessee, so of course my parents have one hidden. Or
that's where my head went to first. Like, just put some bullets in that closet just in case.
Or do I try to go around the stairs into the kitchen? No, because then I can't see whatever it is sneaking out.
This is a lot of thought process
going
into this.
That's how your brain thinks when you're like stressing
My brain
out.
thinks of one thing, like, could this work? Yes. And then I just do that because I don't waste time considering all the other possibilities. Like, if there's one that I think is reasonably, like, plausible or possible, like, that's the one I'm going to do.
What is that saying from Doctor Who? Try to think of a million impossible things before breakfast.
I don't know.
I
don't remember that at all.
Okay. Okay, I just happen to be standing next to our house alarm, so I make myself put my hand next to it in case I need to press send the cops now button.
That's smart. That's very smart.
Through this whole thing, though, my cats are laying in the middle of the living room floor, completely relaxed. Their ears aren't even perked up. Oh, we were talking about cat ears just a second ago.
We were. It was a really long tangent.
I hear the running again from my sister's room to the stairs, and again, I nearly jump out of my skin. But my cats don't move. I know I shouldn't base my survival on my cat's instincts, but denial is strong in this one. So I inch forward and poke my head around the corner, and I see the TV playing a random video from where I had been watching YouTube videos from earlier in the night. And at that moment, a kid goes running across the screen, and again, the noise from my sister's room to the stairs happens again. And I remember my dad putting a fucking DIY surround system in our living room earlier in the week, and now I'll never forgive him for nearly giving me a heart attack.
I love these ones where you think it's something that's supernatural and really spooky, and you're like, and it was totally a reasonable, rational thing after I almost pooped my pants.
So thanks for reading. It's been a rough few nights. Keep doing great things, Carrie.
You're welcome, and thank you for
really
sending
good.
that in. I think when you expose yourself to a lot of horror stuff, especially something like our show, where it's like we do a lot of like research into how true stuff can be, and then like people's stories, you get in a certain mindset where you get really freaked out. Like we had Beast Nerd who just joined our Discord. We know him personally. It's our buddy Ralph. He's amazing, and he messaged us just before the show like, I just listened to episode 21. That one fucked me up pretty bad. That's my favorite episode, by the way. That's the one with Frenchie, the guy who was possessed, and I found out like the true ending to that one. But yeah, when you have that mindset, like everything you see for like the next 2 days is just gonna scare the shit out of you. So, yeah, that was a really
Cool.
good story. I really enjoyed that email.
I love the ones that are just like, I was scared out of my like mind, and then it was just, oh yeah, they're stupid.
Right. Oh, yeah, this was something totally legit that I could have explained rationally. Those are really fun stories. Well, I'm going to move on into my second one of the evening. And this one's subject is Creepy Shadow Man Won't Let Me Sleep, which sounds great. And my aunt told me, passing in the hallway, Creepy Shadow Man's scary. So here we go.
I'm scared now.
Hey, Robin and Adam.
Hey.
Hello. Love the podcast. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. I'm only on episode 7 at this time, so I'm sure you kept going and we ruined it.
Well, hopefully you're getting caught up and taking time out of your day to listen to.
Let's hope you haven't abandoned it yet, but who knows? So I don't know if you've talked about sleep paralysis. We have. I think it was one of the first things we talked about, in fact. When I was about 10, we moved into a new house. I remember always feeling weird when I was alone during the day and scared at night to the point where I would rather sweat my ass off hidden under my giant comforter than have any bit of me exposed to the darkness. Because as we've talked about on the show before, blankets equal shields. That's just how it fucking works.
Unless it's The Grudge, in which case you're under your blanket and then the thing comes out from under the blanket and like you see it like on top of you. Have you ever watched The Grudge?
I have, but I don't remember anything of it.
Yeah, where she goes to her apartment and she hides in her apartment and she hides under the blanket and the girl...
And The Grudge?
The girl from The Grudge.
The Grudge. Just call her The Grudge.
Is under the blanket and comes out from like whatever universe she's from under the blanket.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Or like in New Nightmare, which is the Freddy Krueger movie.
Oh, okay.
Where like the portal to the other side is like at the foot of the bed. That's really cool too, because like the kid knows it and he keeps putting his like stuffed animal, which is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. He sleeps with it and he keeps putting it underneath his blankets at the foot of his bed, and his mom doesn't understand why. And he tells him like, oh, Rex keeps the bad man down there.
Oh my God.
And so when she loses the kid and she can't find him, she like pulls the blanket up and Rex is at the foot of the bed and he has 3 slashes across his side.
Oh my gosh.
New Nightmare's fucking scary. Like, I know a lot of the Freddys got really silly, but New Nightmare fucked my shit up.
We gotta watch it.
The original fucked my shit up too. I will get back to this email. Really quickly, I want to give a shout out to Alexandra over on YouTube. She says, I hope all my messages aren't annoying. If I don't write stuff when I think, I promise I'll forget. No, that's what we want from you guys. We want you guys to interact.
The whole point of the messaging, the chat room is like interact with each other, make friends. Like we got the whole Golden Girls crew going on.
You're gonna say
right
girl
now.
on girl. I was like,
no,
where was
Golden
I for this
Girls.
shit?
So there's the whole Golden Girls crew.
I love watching
Twitch
the
right
messages
now,
scroll by while we're reading, because we know there's a lot of interaction between emails, and just talking to you guys is the best part of doing these live.
Yeah, getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
I hate you so much and myself. Okay, I'm gonna get back to this email. So they felt weird. They felt safe hiding under the giant comforter. They wouldn't expose themselves to the darkness. Okay, so we're going to keep going. The feeling of terror at night in the dark continued until I was about 13 and experienced my first bout of sleep paralysis.
Okay.
I woke up in the middle of the night, pinned to my bed, on my back, unable to move. Sometimes that's a good thing. I was able to look down to see a large shadow that looked like it was humped over the foot of my bed, slowly moving towards me.
No.
I immediately closed my eyes and told myself it wasn't real over and over again as I felt the weight of whatever this thing was slowly moving towards my face. Shout out to Chessicat98 who just subscribed for the 3rd month in a row. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
I must have fallen back asleep because the next thing I remember is waking up the next morning scared out of my mind. That's my least favorite part of sleep paralysis is like trying to stay awake and knowing you're going to fall back asleep. Because sometimes I convince myself if I fall back asleep, I'm going to die. Which is just something you need to not do. So don't do that.
Yeah.
That's what I do, and I had to just, like, train myself to stop doing it. Okay, so they woke back up. I lost my place. Vamp for me, Robin. I need to find my place.
Vamp it up. Vamp it up.
I hate you so much.
If you guys haven't watched Camp Dakota, it's actually surprisingly good. It's cute and cheesy.
A lot of the things I've been exposed to by Robin and Robin's sister, that is probably one of the best things that I've watched. Camp Dakota is actually really good.
It's just so cute. And Grace Helbig, shout out to you. If you ever want to collab on videos, I'm down.
Collab? Wow.
She's just so funny, and I think she's adorable. And
she's funny
really
and charming
cool.
and very, very pretty.
Yeah.
So you guys would really get along. This continued nightly for the next 3 years. Nightly. Oh my
gosh. I would be afraid to go to sleep.
I would too. It slowly started to happen less and less as I got older until it just stopped one day when I was about 16 or 17. Skip to 10 years later. Shout out to ATrain6781 for following
following.
us. Skip to 10 years later. I'm sleeping in that same room. Nothing new going on.
No.
I've got a pet rabbit. Oh my God. I've got a pet rabbit, Professor Bun Buns.
Oh my God.
Which is just such
The
a good name.
names are perfect.
And my dog Max, which is a good name, but not as good as Professor Bun Buns. And these animals are sleeping with them. I'm woken up by the bunny thumping and my dog sitting at the foot of my bed.
I used to be awoken by my bunnies humping.
Nice.
It was horrible.
Not thumping, but humping.
No, it was legit. And it's just like, ugh.
So they're woken up by their bunny thumping, not humping, and Max the dog sitting at the foot of the bed, staring into the dark corner of my room next to my door.
No.
In parentheses, my only exit right next to the light switch. Growling. Max is growling. And then Max, and then in italicized, so slanty words that are even scarier, Max never growled at anything. Until now. I sat up and grabbed my phone to switch on the flashlight and catch a glimpse of a black shadowy figure slinking towards my bed.
No.
I Superman jumped off my bed thinking if something was under there, it wouldn't be able to grab me if I jumped far enough away and switched the light on. There was nothing there.
Dude.
I slept with the light on for the next few days. You couldn't fucking pay me to sleep in that house, let alone that room. No fucking way. I would call the cops and file a police report. Like, someone was in my fucking house. When I finally went to bed with it off, I woke up in the middle of the night, pinned to my bed, unable to move.
No, man.
I looked directly up at where my ceiling fan should have been, only to see the black, empty, shadowy face of something staring back down at me. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. I closed my eyes and tried to fight to move when I heard in a slight whisper, "Did you miss me?"
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
I have
No
goosebumps.
way. No.
I closed my eyes and started to cry. Almost instantly, I was able to move again and got the fuck out of my room and spent the rest of the night in the living room with all the lights on.
Yeah.
I don't know what this thing is or where it went for 10 years, but it hasn't left me since.
No,
I've
dude.
never told anyone about this thing that follows me. I moved out with my boyfriend a few years ago, and he has no idea about what happens to me at night. I've tried multiple ways to get rid of it, but nothing seems to work.
No.
It's not so much scary anymore than it's inconvenient because I just want to get a solid 8 hours of sleep without some creepy shadow man messing up my sleep schedule. Keep up the good work. You guys are awesome.
That's frightening.
That is frightening.
And I'm so sorry you have to deal with that.
Thank you for sending that in, because
Yeah.
like when people say stuff like "I've never told anyone about this before," it's typically because you think someone else isn't going to believe you, and that definitely sounds real, and that sounds super scary, and it might just be a hallucination that's a recurring hallucination.
Yeah.
But it's still fucking terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying, and like not being able to sleep, being sleep deprived is one of my least favorite things to be, and not getting a good 8 hours is like, oh my God. It's rough. It's rough.
Yeah.
Like everyone out there has had times, and usually it's like continuous, where you don't get enough sleep. Either you're out partying and then you have to work in the morning, or you're studying, or you're just working and then you come home just to sleep and then you go back to work. I think we've all
It's
felt like
so
that,
hard.
one
Yeah.
way or the other. And if something fucks with my sleep, that thing needs to go. So I don't know what you need to do to get rid of it, but I hope you figure it out soon, because that's not fair to you. Fuck that shadow man. That's so not cool. So I don't know. Maybe there's a way you can pass on the curse. We talk about that a lot.
No.
I don't
do it.
recommend doing it, but if it's the
Don't.
only option, then you know what? Someone needs to take one for the fucking team. 'Cause you've been dealing with that for way too long.
Okay.
Before we move on, Robin, before you move on to your next story, I want to give a quick shout out to our sponsor, Modern Physics. That is physics spelled Fizzix. If you go over to modernphysics.com right now, you can check out a bunch of different products that are amazing for you. You can drop, soak, and relax. That's the tagline. I really like it. I think it's fun. You can get stuff that fizzes, stuff that foams, salt scrubs, sugar scrubs, plenty of different stuff. They even have a subscription now that you can look into if you're really into all this stuff and you want to keep getting them. If you're looking for gifts for the holidays, it is the perfect thing for a loved one, or if you're just looking to treat yourself, it is fantastic. They have a scary-ish themed bath bomb, which is amazing. I absolutely love it. It felt like I was bathing an ecto cooler. That doesn't mean it's going to be green for you, because the color is supposed to change with every different bomb. That said, if you use the promo code BASEMENT, you will receive 30% off your entire order right now. So head over to Modern Physics, Fizzix.com, and order some stuff. And you know what? If you're worried about your order getting there on time for the Christmas season, you can also get gift cards. You can get those, and someone can go and pick out what they would like. And I think it's just the perfect thing for someone in your life. So go check out modernphysics.com right meow. Now, Robin, move on to your next one.
So I'm going to go into the next email that we have here. and it's titled Visited by a Vampire and Possession plus My Gratitudes.
Jesus.
So,
There's a lot in this
solid.
email.
Pretty solid. It begins.
It begins.
Hello, Adam and Robin.
Hello.
Hello. My name is Milo. Oh, Milo. Milo is the one that did that fan art that I posted a while back that I actually made our profile picture for a little while.
Yeah.
So
it's really good. They
really
even got
good.
my crooked nose, and not in a bad way. It was complimentary.
Had, like your mole on your face.
My little mole, my black spot next to my nose. They had that.
Yeah, it was.
Very
I
detailed.
was like, oh my goodness, this looks great. It was so cute. Thank you so much. We always love fan art, so if you guys want to send us some, I'm always happy to have some fan art.
Never think we're gonna judge you for sending us fan art that you don't think is very nice, because I can barely. There's two things I can draw.
Adam can't even draw stick figures.
I can draw stick figures.
No.
She says I can't. I can draw stick figures, and I can draw dicks, and that's it.
I don't want to talk about your penis drawings, okay? So no. Anyway. So
I used to draw dicks everywhere. Like, you know that American Vandal show where the kid drew dicks everywhere? When I saw that, I was like, someone that knew me wrote this shit. We used to run into teachers' fucking classrooms, draw the biggest dicks on their fucking chalkboards, and then steal the erasers. They couldn't take it off unless they wiped the dick off with their hand. So yeah, that was me in high school. Fun stuff.
All right.
Let's get back to this email.
So my name is Milo, and I was born in Spain, but both my parents are Mexican slash Sephardi. I don't know what that is. Let us know what that is. I've never heard of it.
Place.
Yeah?
I don't know. I'm just tossing that out there.
English
Context,
is my third
please.
language, so sorry if I make some mistakes. I've chatted with you before, and your English is like better than many people that I've talked to from America. So
It's like, yeah, third language is not something that's commonly said by Americans.
All right. So I've been listening to you guys since the Isle of Man episode. And
That's episode 4 or 5.
yeah, it's early on because I remember because Sam
was
was
our first
saying,
fan,
yes. Oh, shout out to Sam. Sam, we love you. And I really wanted to thank you for your job because I was going through a really rough time trying to deal with studies and my mental health at the same time. I pushed myself way too hard and set unrealistic expectations when I clearly couldn't handle it anymore by myself. And it got so bad to the point that I almost ended my life. That's rough. Don't ever do that to yourself.
Please don't.
Like,
Just take stuff off your plate.
Yeah. My sister got to that point when she was going to law school. Sorry, I'm going to share your personal information.
Liz is going to be like, what the fuck?
But she was pushing herself so hard to try to make our parents happy. And she was going to law school and she just hated it. And she hated it so much. And she was getting stressed because she was building up on all these student loans. And it just wasn't for her. And she told me, like, dude, I really want to fucking kill myself because I feel like a failure and I can't make my parents happy. And so eventually, like after 2 years or something, she decided, like, I'm quitting law school. I can't do it anymore. And now she's way happier doing what she actually likes. So
I feel like people are always afraid because they're going to be judged by someone, like, regarding, you know, what choices they're going to make. And I don't think I've ever been more proud of Liz than when she did that.
Yeah.
And honestly, it's like when you're in places like this, like you're describing, like the email's describing, it's not even the expectations you're setting for yourself necessarily. It's the expectations you feel like someone else is putting on you or someone else is putting on you. And like, this is the most basic way I can say this. Like, it is your life. Fuck anyone else. Like, what you want to do with your life, if you know you're not doing what you want, everyone literally has the opportunity to just say, fuck this, I'm going to do something different. And you might change your path, and it might be harder because of that, but you might enjoy it more. It's not easy to say, like, I'm just going to quit my job or change my major, because it's going to be difficult, and there's bumps in the road that you're going to go through. But I've never been happier than when I made major changes in my life that have made my life more difficult, just because I knew I was on the right path finally. Like, you can walk down an easy road that you absolutely hate and it can just destroy who you are, or you can go down a bumpy road that's really rough and be like, this is exactly where I fucking want to be. And like, anyone who begrudges you for doing what makes you happy, fuck them.
Yeah.
You might be in a culture that doesn't let you say that to them, so I will say this on your behalf, fuck them. You take care of yourself first and foremost. So, okay, let's get back to this email. Sappy stuff aside.
I don't want to be exaggerating or anything, but I really felt like you were there by my side and you helped me a lot by bringing me entertainment and something to listen to where I could avoid my suicidal thoughts. That's really great, and I think everybody should have an outlet like that.
I'm really glad we can be that.
I've been meaning to mail you for months, but I was very busy with classes and I procrastinated a lot this summer. Who doesn't? I mean, I'm procrastinating. I've drank too much wine. I've procrastinated all week, and my finals are tomorrow. So
procrastination is a valuable skill, though, because it teaches you how to work under a deadline, because you're going to work somewhere eventually where someone's going to spring some shit on you, And you're going to flash back to like, sometimes I do my best work when I work at the last minute. And you know what? You used to do it by choice, and now you're being forced to do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's helped me. Because I used
All
to
right.
procrastinate all the fucking time.
Good thing is, I finished my studies. I'm an illustrator and concept artist, as we can see.
And you're good at what you
Yeah,
do.
very good. I got professional help, and I'm so much more at peace with myself and everything in general. Exclamation point. That's a very good point.
It is.
I'm also drawing something for the podcast, which we've posted. This is how long it's been.
Yes. You guys are going to be like, oh, that thing from that long ago? Yes. We're running the 2.5 month backlog.
I actually wanted to send this once I got it done, but I'm so excited to show it to you both already that I'll attach a small preview of it to the email, which is amazing. Even just the sketch is amazing. Anyway, let's start with the kind of the real point of this email, story time. I got you 2 stories that maybe you can split if you want. I feel like my intro was really long. You're fine. Don't worry about it. My parents were pastors/missionaries in Mexico for years, and they later moved to Spain where they settled in. They're still pastors, but not missionaries. Ironically, I'm not really religious. I feel like that happens a lot.
It happens a lot to the kids of people who are very religious. They just kind of go a different direction.
Because you're kind of raised and told about it your whole life.
And if you find it on your own and come back to it, that's fine. I have a friend who became an atheist, and his parents were very, very devout. And he eventually came back to it, and it's just like he's not on the same level. You know, it's like if you have like a super devout parent and you wind up being like devout light. Like, that's fine. As long as you find something that fits your lifestyle. I think that happens a lot, actually.
So I'm not really religious, and I kind of feel confused about it, but I do believe that demons or bad entities/spirits exist. I used to be very, very sensitive when I was a child about that kind of stuff, but I eventually stopped feeling things with time. Nowadays, I can only get very accurate gut feelings about people, but I think that's something almost everyone has.
Still, it's some people have no instinct whatsoever on the people that they're dealing with.
I mean, I've dated some winners.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm looking over at our stream chat, and Ulri over there says, I am so proud of you, person who wrote this in all caps.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's really great. I mean, anybody that can climb out of that hole, I think, should be
share
really
it too.
proud.
Like, when you share it, especially through the audience that we have, because we have such a great audience, like, there's just so much love and an outpouring of support. So
yeah, we're not psychiatrists or therapists.
We're
just
fucked up people who have been through a lot of shit. So we're okay with listening to what you guys are going through, and hopefully just having an ear to listen to, or I don't even know what that fucking phrase is. Having someone there to listen to. Are you
the one that's been drinking wine?
No, I am not. I've had 2 cups of coffee, though, and I am wired as fuck right now.
As I was saying, I hadn't really felt anything weird at all. It's like you knew we were going to have a tangent. In a very long time till last week. I had a daydream where I was in some sort of rock and roll contest. One of the people there was a lanky old man with long hair. I remember getting the creeps, but not paying much attention. I woke up not so long after that, and I looked at my phone, and it was 6 a.m. I used to get up at that time to go to class, so I guess that just woke me up, like my
Body
internal clock.
Right on.
Hold on. Oh, man.
Bless you.
Yeah, I didn't sneeze.
The hiccups are going to start soon because she's so fucking wasted. She's going to light the wrong end of a cigarette. This song is about me.
Shut up. So I got up to drink some water in the kitchen and go back to sleep. When I fell asleep, it somehow felt like I went back to the same dream, but it wasn't the same scenario, and I wasn't even there. I was looking at a couple in a plane. They both asked the stewardess, "Why are you taking so long?" And the stewardess answered, "Because one of the passengers is a vampire."
What the fuck?
What? Milo, what is this?
Shout out to AirDude68 who just subscribed on Twitch. Thank you so much for
subscribing.
Thank
you so much. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. Like, it's amazing. You guys are awesome.
Subscription heavy episode.
I woke up, and a few seconds later, I felt someone breathing on my neck.
Oh, my God.
I froze because I started feeling someone behind. And as every Hispanic kid with religious parents has taught, I started to pray as fast as I could. I think it took me less than 5 minutes to get out of my room, but it felt eternal. I ran into my parents' room because demons can't chase you into your parents' bed.
That's hilarious. Everyone knows that.
But being the soft dumbass that I am, all I could ever think, besides what just happened, was that I couldn't tell my parents about this right now because they had work tomorrow. That's so sweet.
That is sweet.
And I didn't want to take sleep hours away from them. That is very sweet. I probably was an asshole and didn't give a fuck. I
can tell you that I would wake my dad up, and my dad, depending on how tired he was, would be like, I don't care. Actually, if it was something I was scared of, he would bolt out of bed. If it was something that I was worried about for him, he'd be like, get the fuck away from me. Like, there's a tornado. I'm going to go to the basement. He's like, go to the basement. I'm staying here.
I wouldn't go to the basement either. But I think
wow, I forget how terrified you are of basements that you'd rather face a tornado than a basement.
I've been watching Haunted on Netflix, and it's about these people that have experienced like horror, like paranormal things in their life, and almost all of them originate around the basement.
You know where those basement ghosts come from? People that died in tornadoes because they didn't go to the fucking basement. So now they're just doomed to live there forever in the afterlife. Live isn't the right word.
Okay. Okay. So I I was going to tell another story. I asked my parents before, when there was a thunderstorm around my house in Hawaii, I went to their bedroom and I was just like, there's a thunderstorm. It's horrible. And my mom and dad are just like, ugh.
Get the fuck away. What are you, a cat?
And I think my dad just stayed sleeping and my mom's like, fine. And my sister and I used to sleep on little tiny twin beds. And so my mom had to like climb into our little tiny twin bed.
Aw, that's really sweet, actually.
I don't know, but my dad's just like, I'm so tired. Fuck it. Okay. So no. Anyway, I was continuing with the email. I kind of asked to be there and waited till they woke up in a couple hours. I couldn't even relax there though. I felt very unsafe and my dog barks like crazy at every person that enters our home, so I don't think it was a real person, a quote unquote real person. I told my mom about it later and she got a bit distressed too. I didn't really talk much more about it. I was all right during the next days, but there was only one day where I felt uneasy at the time, but nothing more. I thought, was 3 a.m. the witching hour?
Indeed.
I don't know. I luckily went back to sleep like a baby every day. Second story has nothing to do with me, but it's something my parents have experienced/witnessed. As I said before, my parents are pastors, and they've sometimes had to deal with possessions.
This is going to be good. I was going to say, parent stories are good. Stories from Mexico are always good, and this is both of those things, unless it's from Spain, which I can imagine is also good.
Even I have seen some people moving around like Cirque du Soleil in church, but this was definitely something else. My parents had to attend a Colombian woman who came with her 3-year-old daughter because she started behaving quite erratically.
The cord for our light over there just moved on its own, so just keep going. I'm sure it was just like bundled up and it just like sort of like unwound a little bit, or it's a demon that was like standing there trying to listen and it accidentally tripped. Someone posted a video on the Scary Spooky Friends group where it's like ghost activity and it shows like blanket being pulled and like a closet opening, and then it's like, here's the spectral stream, and it can see the ghost, and the ghost is like trying to sneak in like, excuse me, I just need to grab something really fast. And he's like trying to be as quiet as possible, but he keeps tripping, and then he falls and pulls the blanket, and then everyone's screaming, and he's like, I'm so sorry. So I try to think about that when I see weird stuff like our cord move on its own in the middle of a possession story.
Okay. Apparently, they were both in a restaurant with two friends who were a couple. The man was feeding the little girl.
It just moved again. I'm fucking serious.
Is the cat in here?
I don't think so.
I'm scared.
You're fine. Keep going.
It's like when I start talking about this story.
Just keep going, and I'm just going to stare directly at it, and then we'll see what happens.
Okay.
If I burst into flames, that would be so cool. I mean, I'd die. But I mean, we'd have so many views. Okay, keep going.
Shut up. Okay, they were both in a restaurant with two friends who were a couple. The man was feeding the little girl, who we will call Anna, when a guy came out of nowhere and killed him with 2 shots to the back. After that, he left. So this guy came out, fucking shot this dude twice, and left. What?
That's fucked up.
Oh my God, went into true crime territory. What are we doing? They thought Anna died too, but she was only left covered in blood. Jesus! And of course, traumatized. The guy who entered the restaurant was a hitman, and this happened because the man was involved in drug dealing things.
I thought organized crime. Like, that's the first place my head went to.
It continues. I think it's called reckoning.
It's a good word. What was that noise?
My ring hitting the laptop.
Ah, there we go.
Not demons.
I didn't think it was demons. I thought it was something exploding, like we were going to go off the air. Really
okay.
Quick.
The mother was really scared. I've had a PC do that. One of the little nodes inside exploded.
Yeah.
The mother was really scared and paranoid about the whole thing. She was living with her current boyfriend at the time, so she moved away with her daughter to a friend's house. Anna suddenly started acting weirdly. She started calling her mom and mom's friend very ugly names. Oh, this bitch is possessed. Now, I don't think that a child can learn to say vulgarities, even if they are 3 years old. I've watched Super Nanny, Spain edition, but that was weird about that. But what was weird about that is that Anna started talking with a guttural voice. Fucking possessed. They took her to a psychologist, which I think they should have done from the start because her fucking dad got murdered in front of her.
Yeah, always go with psychologist first before you go with exorcism, because a lot of times, like, priests will even say it like, oh, this person needs, like, actual medical help and they don't need an exorcism, and that's usually, like, what they make you go through before you can even get an exorcism. So start there, especially if your 3-year-old has blood splattered all over from her dad being murdered. It's a good space to start.
The story continues. Maybe they did, and I'm just messing up details. Sorry, this happened in 2007. The psychologist went something like, maybe a priest should deal with this.
Wow, that's fucking...
What?
When the psychologist recommends a priest, there's something wrong.
So they had to go visit a priest, and the priest backed off because they need permission from the Vatican, I don't know, from the Vatican to
have more wine, Robin. Jeez.
It's empty. You notice this isn't even a wine glass. This is like a cup. This is like a regular pint glass that I was like, I'll drink wine out of it. My sister, okay, story time.
Side note. Really, is this story time? Get it?
Oh, when I used to live with my sister, I'm sure you guys have heard this story before, but I had like a venti Starbucks tumbler, those plastic ones when they started selling those. I had one of those, and I just poured the entire wine bottle in there. It fits just about the entire bottle. And I just...
For those of you who need to know that, and I feel like there's a lot of you out there who need to know.
I was just sitting there playing like Tetris on my laptop, and I'm just drinking from the straw out of this Starbucks tumbler, and then all of a sudden I'm just like, whoa, dude, I was at a high level in Tetris, so things are already moving really fast. But my sister's sitting on the couch and I'm sitting on the floor, and I'm just telling her like, dude, the pieces are moving so fast.
It's 'cause you're fucked up.
Oh my God. She's like, really? Really? You're so drunk right now. Anyway, okay.
I'm going to stop watching this cord. It hasn't moved. I think we're safe. I think someone exorcised the demons. This room is clear.
Okay. Anyway, end of story time. So, okay. So you need permission from the Vatican to do an exorcism, and not every You need permission from the Vatican to do an exorcism, and not every priest is properly formed for doing it, or like
they have specific people that are exorcists.
And she later found a man who performed brujeria and tried to help Anna, but after everything they went through, Anna was definitely not okay anymore. She didn't get uglier or walk on all fours like in The Exorcist, but she was a really cute kid, and she had horrible outbursts where she would speak like an old man, and she tried to harm her mom and mom's friend and also herself by running into the wall and hitting her head repeatedly.
Wow.
She also didn't sleep well at all. So this chick is possessed, like so possessed. I mean, it sounds like she's possessed me, but her mother ended up asking for help on Facebook, and one person from Torreon, I don't know where that is in Spain, but one of the places where, in Mexico, sorry, one of the places where my parents lived in Mexico, told her, I know 2 good exorcists that live in Spain. Okay, it is in Spain.
How crazy is your life where you're like, I got 2 exorcist guys, not just one?
Yeah, I have 2 good exorcists that live in Spain, and they can help you. Note my parents aren't exorcists, and this became an internal meme for my father. What? An internal meme?
Probably something they had like within their family that they'd send around as a joke. I don't know.
So the mother, her friend, and Anna came to the church. They were talking about it in a separate room while I was trying to play with Anna in the kids' room. I didn't know anything about it because I was 11, so I was only taking care of her, drawing, playing make-believe, or with cars/fake cooking stuff, etc. And I repeat, I was just trying to play because she got up every 10 minutes to check on the room my parents were in with her mother. She didn't open the door. She just stuck her ear to it like she was trying to listen. She probably did this.
Yeah,
just saying.
The cupping of the ear thing. Or maybe she had a cup.
I remember thinking she was, she might have had a cup. They had like play cooking things.
Do demons need cups? I don't think so.
I remember thinking she was nosy and taking her by the hand while telling her they were busy. I took her to every part of the church because I thought that maybe she didn't like the kids' room or something. I was trying very hard to make her feel comfortable. Thing is, she always went back to try to hear what was going on. Possessed.
Or just a nosy kid. I was a really nosy kid, so I used to do that same stuff.
Oh, I don't
I'm
know.
not
I
possessed.
wasn't.
You weren't nosy?
No, I didn't want to know.
I always wanted to know.
I was not. Maybe that's why I'm not as smart as I could be. I'm not that curious.
You're not?
No. No. I'm like, I don't know where to go with this. They spent a couple weeks praying for her and trying to get her better, till one night where they called my parents because she was having one of her outbursts. She was screaming at the top of her lungs, hitting everyone and everything around her, speaking obscenities. The neighbors even thought someone was hitting her. What? My parents spent their time trying to see what they could from home because we live far from the city, so it isn't easy to move. And I guess it was something that had to be done at the right moment. We had 2 of those cable phones that didn't have speakers, one in the living room and the other one in one of the bedrooms. They were both on each telephone. My father told the mom to put the phone on her ear, and they started praying. Ooh, so this is like via telephone, like
Telephone
exorcism.
exorcist.
That should be a movie.
I'm sure it is. It's got to be out there somewhere.
Anna suddenly knocked out and fell asleep. This never happened again since then. She stopped acting like that, and they even checked her with the doctor and my parents again, but she was completely fine. Sadly, this story doesn't end like this.
Wow, uh-oh.
Remember I mentioned her mother had a boyfriend and that she used to live with him? Well, she had to get some clothes, so she called him, and he told her he had done something very bad. Oh! When she got there, the floor and walls were splashed with blood. She quickly called the Mossos, Catalonia's police, and he turned himself into the police, and I guess they eventually told her that the blood on the walls was from 6 different people.
Holy shit.
She got very paranoid, and for her safety, in case it was related to the whole reckoning stuff, the police told her that it was better if she moved away from Catalonia and didn't tell anyone where she moved to. She thanked my parents for everything and shortly left after. We haven't known anything about her since. I can't help but imagine how much pain she'd had to go through, but I wish her the best, and to Anna too. That's it. Thank you for taking your time to read this. I'll also add a picture of my doxy because I think this will lighten up your mood. His name is Caleb, and he acts like a cranky old man. This podcast means a lot to me, and I adore it. Keep on creeping on. And again, thank you very much for everything, Milo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Those are really good stories. Your dachshund is so cute.
It is. It is absolutely adorable. And those are really good stories, and that was a really good message that you led with too. And there's been so many people over in our stream chat that said that they're proud of you and they love you for sharing that, because everyone gets low. Someone said over there, Leo over on YouTube said, everyone's a little fucked up. And I think that's the best way that you could possibly put that. Because some people try and hide it because that's what they need to do, and some people just own it and they're like, this is what I am. And I don't think there's anything wrong with either one. Whatever has to work for you, but sometimes you can't internalize everything. And anytime anyone sends us something that tells us something that deeply personal, like, thank you from the bottom of our hearts, because that's not easy to share shit like that, you know?
Yeah.
And then of course following it up with really awesome stories too is pretty fucking sweet. So
yeah.
Thank you so much for sending that.
Cool. I want to take this little mid-break to remind you guys that all live donations to Scariest on our
Twitch channel.
Yeah. So any live donations you guys do during the live episodes, again, go to Make-A-Wish this month. So if we reach our goal, that's $200 that's going to Make-A-Wish. So if you guys want to help some kiddos, and
if you guys have thought about donating before, this is the month to do it. It really is, because Make-A-Wish is a very, very good foundation, and it's got a place near and dear to my heart. And if you want to try and do it, go to twitch.tv/scarishpodcast. And for those of you that are there right now, there's a spot down below the video, and it says donate. If you click there, it'll take you to a website. It's totally secure. It's totally safe.
Is it PayPal?
And it goes through PayPal if you'd like it to. I'm pretty sure you can add a debit card on there if you'd like. There's a bunch of different ways that you can do it, and the donations go straight into our PayPal, and then we will then send that at the end of the month. Whatever we get for the month of December will go to Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
So we encourage you guys to do that. And again, thank you guys for joining us on the live show.
Oh, don't forget, if we make the goal, Adam's going to grow out a curly mustache.
I'll basically shave this off and then continue the mustache and try and curl it. It won't go well. I'll look like a fool everywhere I go.
Like a fool.
I hate you so much.
Okay, so
I'm going to go ahead and move into my last one for the show. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. It is my longest one. And the subject is, I got some shit for y'all. Buckle up, pals. So it's a pretty solid subject.
I was like, wait, which way do I want to buckle up? I was going to go buckle up this way or buckle up this way.
Just buckle up for safety. Always buckle up. And it starts out like this. Good evening, Thades and gentle them.
That's awesome.
Solid. In parentheses, I say that hoping you'll be reading this out loud for the recording. Indeed, I was.
Yeah.
And you nailed it. So I just happened to find y'all last week via Spotify, Gotta love that algorithm. Shout out to Spotify. Seriously, like it's way easier for people to find us on Spotify than anywhere else for some reason, because they type scary or scary-ish, and shocker, it shows them scary-ish as a podcast because other places aren't as easy to find us.
Yeah.
Getting back to this, I'm incessantly binge listening, in parentheses, shout out to my job for letting me have headphones in all day.
Those are the best. Those are the best jobs. I mean, okay, maybe you don't get paid a lot in some of them, but I love jobs that let you do that.
It just depends on what job you have. I'm currently listening as I'm writing this email. I had actually shared these stories with another podcast, but I think they are so backlogged that it'll never see the light of day, and y'all might have more fun with these anyways. No basements, but some ghosts, kids, and ghost kids are involved. Right on.
Ghosts, kids, and ghost kids.
You can put this all in one listener episode, or split it up as you may, because I'm too lazy and forgetful to split it up between multiple emails. That's okay. We're going to try and power through this whole thing. I'm very behind, just made it past the Mothman episode, and I'd just like to say there is no way sandhill cranes are involved. They're not that tall, and they're slow-ass motherfuckers with gray feathers and skinny-ass legs, and they don't fight back or anything. But they're definitely creepy and ominous in their own way, because that's what people say the New Jersey Devil and the Mothman are, is these stupid sandhill cranes. So this person's saying, like, absolutely not. That's horseshit. It's not an explanation. They're all around Florida and are much like slow-walking, non-blinking, creepy neighbors that stare at you constantly, but they're relatively harmless.
Okay.
Good to know. I'm glad to hear that, too, because now I'm 100% convinced the Mothman is real and a time traveler. I was in the shower for like 30 minutes after I did that episode, and I developed this really awesome theory about the time travel, like loopholes that you have to go through, and you have to like disguise yourself, and this apparatus is how it happens, but you're still trying to protect people, and how certain things are time-locked, just like in Doctor Who. I'm going to have to write all my rules down. It's really good. I might turn it into a short story one day. So I'm going to get back to the email. So I'd like to start off mentioning that as a kid, I loved scary shit. Loved it. I only read scary books. I would live for playing hide and seek with my family, and I would pretty much run into the woods after dark almost every night as a kid for the sake of scaring my family.
That's so mean.
That's so funny, though. That's brave, though. Kids running into scary dark woods, like, just so you can fuck with someone? Shout out. Not a cool kid, but you get the point. I also have had sleep issues that have required several tests as a kid and often had nightmares every night. I've been prone to lucid dreams and whatnot as well. I say all of this because it comes into play for most of my stories.
Okay.
I didn't start experiencing any of these stories until I moved down to Florida from New York at the age of 9. And then in parentheses, that explains enough right there. I suppose so. I've seen some weird fucked up stories come out of Florida.
Oh, yeah?
So they're the best stories. You've never seen those headlines? Like, only in Florida?
I don't believe they're real.
They are real. So my sister is about 10 years older than me. I was about 9 or 10 at the time when we moved down to Florida. She was also going to college down there. Her first year we were moving her out. It was her first year and we were moving her out to come back home. So we were staying in her dorm overnight because they just moved there and
they're
like
allowed to do that?
Well, I mean, yeah, you don't have to stay on campus. Like I never lived on campus. I was like, fuck that. I'll get an apartment. It's so much cheaper. So if your parents move down there and you're cool with them, then just move back in. Save so much money on room and board because that shit's expensive.
Some colleges require your first year to be on campus.
That is dumb.
I think if you're like doing sports or something, some colleges
maybe you have a
require
scholarship or something like that. Who knows? Her first year, okay, we went through that part. Her roommate was gone for the weekend, so my mom got one bed, my sister another, and I got the floor. Normally, I'd be terrified of sleeping next to a bed, in parentheses, 'cause monsters. But those dorm beds are huge and have shit all under it. So around 3 a.m., I woke up, and you know shit's going to get good because it's 3 a.m. I know this because there was a digital clock within my line of sight. I woke up with a jolt, which despite having sleep problems, I was in a deep sleep, one of few that I got, with and without prescription medication. I couldn't move and it felt like something was sitting on top of me. The only thing I could move were my eyes and eyelids, so they jolted awake and they find themselves in sleep paralysis at 3 a.m. I could see that no one was awake from where I was laying. Both my family members were snoring. The TV was on and it was changing a couple channels, and then it settled on TNT, showing what I later learned was Resident Evil. This is important, so remember it. I like
Resident Evil.
Never seen it. I've seen bits and pieces of the first one.
Have I made you watch the animated ones yet?
Nope.
No? Oh, we gotta watch them.
Add them to the list. I remember trying to move my head, and it felt like someone was holding it between their hands, pulling my head to face forward.
Nope.
I think I struggled with this and trying to talk for about 30 minutes. You might say, in quotations, maybe this was sleep paralysis, but I promise you it is not. I remember the explanation of my sleep pattern / lucid nightmares from earlier. Well, it's important because due to my complicated relationship with sleep since birth, I've gotten very in tune on if I'm lucid dreaming or if it's sleep paralysis.
I believe it.
In parentheses, which I have only had once, and it was this year. I can send an email about that and all my fun sleep-related stories later. So I knew I wasn't dreaming. Plus, I hadn't actually seen Resident Evil, but I remember a man who, as a child, I thought was Samuel L. Jackson, in parentheses, emphasis on thought, his face cubed up by lasers. I have seen that scene, where it's like a hallway with lasers and like they have to get through it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's an actual scene from the movie. And going on with the email, I still haven't seen it, minus Googling that scene and remembering it exactly as that. So they're saying they know they weren't sleeping because they saw this scene of a movie they've never seen, and that scene actually does exist. So either their brain made up something exactly how it was, or they were actually awake laying on the floor and that TV actually settled on that. I remember looking at the digital clock in front of the TV, and I know about around 3:30 a.m. I decided to just squeeze my eyes shut and hope that I could move again.
That's the worst time for that to happen.
Yeah. Next thing I knew, I woke up and it was 4:30 a.m. and TNT was still on, but I could move. I got up and woke my mom up and asked if she had been up, and she said no. The next day, I told my sister on the way home because I was actually pretty truly scared, not for funsies, and both she and my mom had said they turned the TV off when they agreed to go to bed and placed it on the desk so it wouldn't get lost in the luggage the next day. She began to inform me that apparently people said that her dorm was haunted.
What?
Apparently a little boy my age had died back when it was a living quarters for one of the dean's families back in the old days. I don't know. I never looked into it. She definitely wouldn't scare me with it, so I didn't really see her motive, and they both seemed to believe me and never, ever questioned my story because of how seriously I brought it up.
Okay.
I felt better after she told me because the kid was probably excited to see someone his own age.
Aww.
I know there's apparently other ghosts on that school's campus according to acquaintances from high school who attended there. So that's story one. That's the only physical interaction I've ever had. Now here's the scary shit. I made a friend when I moved to Florida, but we didn't really get to hang or see each other until middle school. So fast forward 3 to 4 years. We had picked up where we left off, despite the fact that the blonde-haired, cheesy girl I had met now was the newest member of My Chemical Romance. Okay,
what?
I'm confused.
Oh, no. Who was it?
In parentheses, not an insult because I am emo goth trash, but I was a very naive child and originally was like, wow, that's new. It's so scary. I like it. So I don't know if they're saying that they're hanging out with a person that looks like a person from My Chemical Romance or they're just really into My Chemical Romance, but we're going to keep going. Anyways, as we got closer, she began to tell me she has a lot of ghosts in her life. Her mom's house had a nasty spirit. Her grandmother still haunted her grandfather's house, which she later moved into, and her dad's house had a negative or demonic spirit. Most of the bad stuff she said later on in life was probably because she was given tarot cards and a witch's Bible that were used and uncleansed from a neighbor who moved away shortly after bestowing these gifts on her. That's an asshole neighbor to just be like, here, enjoy these cursed items.
Yeah. Here's a button. You're
What?
cursed.
What's that from?
Drag Me to Hell.
Oh, I haven't seen it. So cool. Good spoilers. Her dad was estranged from his family because he was the only Christian in a family of practicing pagans, Wiccans, and some witches. Some dabbled in darker things as well, but while he was Christian and eventually estranged, my friend remembered interacting and visiting them in her younger days and knew about it well. This woman, in my theory, probably gifted these things to her father because he was a grade A verbally abusive asshole, and he rubbed everyone he met the wrong way. He probably gave her the gifts because he had no use for them. I guess he wasn't anti-pagan, but he just didn't practice it himself. I don't know. Men are a mystery. They are. We can be assholes sometimes,
I think
too.
women are also mysterious.
This is true.
Everyone's mysterious in their own way.
Some people aren't.
So-
Some people are just plain. They're just plain, and that's fine.
Oh,
Some people don't have mystery or secrets or anything like that. Some people just
I
are
feel
there.
like being plain is the mystery.
Is it? Is
Yeah.
it really?
Well, because you think they're plain, and then deep down they have secrets that they haven't told you. And
That's
will
what I'm
never
saying.
tell you.
Some people don't have those deep down secrets. Some people just live mundane, boring lives, and they're happy with it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I'm squinting my eyes, like just glaring, and I feel like because I'm Asian, they just look that way naturally.
I can't tell the difference.
Okay, go.
Anyway, she was plagued by negative energies and various forms of taunts all through middle and most of high school. It affected her in all the prime spirit ways, being a pubescent, and in parentheses, depression and everything that follows. Not going to go into it because that's her business. But then when we reconnected, I often became witness to some of the things she went through. At her father's house, things would randomly turn on when I visited or when we talk about more recent activity. She'd send me texts and videos of scratches forming on her.
What?
And sometimes when I hung out there, I'd watch them form on her back when we were just sitting watching TV.
Does she feel it?
I'm sure she does. Like, I've seen videos. I remember one. I can't remember which program it was. I think it was Sightings on Fox back in the day of some like family that was haunted by a little girl's spirit, and it didn't like the dad. And like while they were interviewing him, he's
was
just
it like
sitting
the
there.
house, like a really small house?
Yeah.
And they had like a really narrow.
Please be careful, drunkie.
It was-
There's way too much expensive equipment to be doused
They had
in these drinks that are all right here.
They had like a really narrow staircase that went up, and their kitchen was like a galley type kitchen.
I don't
and
remember.
the dad was the one that they lifted up his shirt, and you saw the
Yes.
scratches appear on his back. I watched.
I don't remember the galley like kitchen, but I do remember the dad like being interviewed and being like, "She just shot through my chest," and he lifted his shirt, and you saw the scratches form, and then the welts form, and then the welts started bleeding. And it was all real-time footage. I was like, this is some fucked up shit. I got to cover that one of these days. I don't remember where it was, though. But okay.
We got to just probably watch a lot of old TV.
I'll find it one way or the other. Okay, so that's what's happening when they're hanging out. Everyone always asks, why don't they just leave? But at least from secondhand experiences, it was never as consistent as dramatizations make it seem, at least for her. One night we were walking from her mom's house to mine, as it was about a 15-minute walk, and she mentioned how things were starting to get worse after being calm for about a year. As she was describing it, we heard the sound of someone running up on us and a short, loud, guttural growl, like someone running up behind to scare us, or like a large animal growling when running up behind us. We screamed and moved out of the way and turned around, and nothing was there. We were in the middle of a street that was well lit, right off a country road that had cars passing by us, so there was no way anyone could have run up and then somehow disappeared.
That's super creepy.
We were terrified but kept walking, assuming running would entice whatever chased us. That's smart, because sometimes when you run and it's an actual animal.
They heard it running up to them, and then it just stopped?
No, it got to them and growled really loud, and they turned around and nothing was there.
Okay.
So it never stayed or came into my house, and as I never directly talked to whatever it was, this was probably the scariest thing. And then the next thing says, last one, I promise. 10th grade, I befriended my friend's partner at the time. We had talked on and off about the paranormal, and my friend mentioned their house was haunted. Obviously, I was interested in hearing. It wasn't anything malicious, and they never fucked with the ghosts, but there were often shadow figures and noises, and my friend's mom's plethora of Christmas and other holiday decorations would randomly turn on, despite being unplugged.
No, if it's unplugged,
that's a demon.
Yeah.
During winter break, we both had nothing to do on New Year's Eve, so I decided to come over and hang out and play video games. I specifically told my friend to make sure the giant animatronic Santa was put away before then because I remembered our conversation. So a couple hours passed and we were chilling, and I think we brought up the ghosts again for some reason, and about how nothing happens that much.
You're getting choked up.
No, I'm not. It's just some things here or there, and it's nothing out of a TV show. It was very much like I had been experiencing so far that night, nothing. But I was so busy paying attention to what my friend was saying that I didn't register that at first that someone had growled or hummed right next to my friend's shoulder, other side of them farthest from me. After about 2 minutes, after 2 minutes after we stopped talking, I looked at them and said, "Wait, did something make a noise while we were talking?" And they went, "Oh yeah, I figured you didn't notice since you didn't say anything." That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
That's super fucking creepy. Also attached a picture of my Omen baby. I hope you love him. His name is Dooney, and he's an asshole, but I love him.
Everyone always says their pets are assholes.
Pets have personalities, and sometimes they can be assholes just like human beings.
I just think Namaria is the only asshole.
No, Arya can be an asshole, too.
Arya,
our cat loves us, but Arya does not always like anyone else.
I can't believe she's so
Arya smacked my Aunt Marie.
Yeah. She's so mean.
She didn't pop claws, though, which I'm happy to hear, because I would be so upset if she did.
Well, she slapped my face before.
You
and
earned it.
Hurt so bad.
She put her face in her face, and Arya raised her paw, like, and meowed, like, which is cat for, don't fucking do it. And I sat there and watched him like, she's going to hit you. And then she leaned her face as far as she could to Arya's face, and she popped her 3 times, just whap, whap, whap. And then she ran away. And she looked at me and she goes, "She hit so hard."
It's like she has these little needle arms. She doesn't pop her claws, but she slaps you so hard and so fast, and it's like these little needles hitting your face.
It is the most satisfying sound I've ever heard in my life. Shout out to Akasuna no Kairi 1013 who just subscribed on Twitch for the 4th month in a row.
You guys that have been subscribing since we first started Twitch are absolutely incredible.
We appreciate
so
you
thankful.
so much.
We really couldn't do all of this stuff without you guys.
I'm going to finish this email off.
All right.
I will send you a separate email on all my fun sleep escapades because medication is truly a hell of a drug. Much love, Lex. And then at the bottom it says they, them pronouns. A bit late on that one. But that was really well written. Very long, but there's a lot of stories in there. So we definitely appreciate that.
Thank you so much.
There's a lot of people who have had weird shit happen to them throughout their lives. And apparently they're all centered in Florida. And that might explain a lot of those headlines down there. So right on.
All right. Okay, so I'm going to go into my next email here. And it's titled Guardian Angel. So I think that's pretty indicative of what it's going to be.
It could be. It could just be about nothing involving a guardian angel, and it's just a really clever subject.
Trolling. It goes, "Hey, Adam and Robin."
Hello.
Hello. My name's Alexis, and I would just like to start off by saying that I love your podcast so much, and it's the only one that I can really find myself sitting through and finishing.
That's nice to know.
That's very nice. That's very flattering.
There's a lot of times I'm like, how does anyone listen to our tangents and our bullshit? But apparently people enjoy it.
A lot of reviews on iTunes say the tangents are the best part.
That's true. That is very true. Also, guys, go ahead and go over to iTunes and drop us a rating or a review because those really do help out.
Please.
Pretty please on 5 stars.
Yes. There was a review left recently that was so absolutely heartfelt.
Yeah, and I had a really bad day, and I saw that review that day, and I was like, this is making me choke up a little bit. It's one of the nicest things I've ever read.
It was so ridiculously nice. And when we have bad days, when it concerns work, school, whatever, and we see those, it makes us feel like we're doing something worth doing.
Exactly.
So it's kind of cool.
It makes us want to keep... It makes me yell at my computer to make stuff work, because we have to record this. We can't skip an episode.
Also, I don't mind if you share this story on the podcast. Thank you. I'm just...
Was that a burp or a hiccup?
It was a burp. Stop it. Okay, so... Why are you shaming me?
I'm not shaming you. They all heard it. They're watching. They're listening.
So I'm just going to jump right in. I'm a college student starting my second year. You'll get through it. You will do it. Keep going. I've been going to school for 10 years. You can do it.
I went to school for a very long time as well, but I got through.
So I'm starting my second year, and it's the first time that I'm actually on my own, considering I was in the dorms my first year. What are the odds? What are the odds?
What are the oods?
It's safe to say that it's a lot to take in and adjust to with me having my own apartment and getting the hang of the juggling act that is school, work, and expenses. It's very difficult. And when I first moved out on my own, I knew I was like, how am I going to afford rent and food? And I was so naive, like, I'll be able to afford this $36,000 car on my $36,000 salary.
Yeah, that's just not how bills work. It really isn't.
I was such an idiot. Anyway, this last week was one for the books. I had 2 midterms back to back on Friday and a lab exam on Wednesday, so I was already stressed. On Monday, I was getting ready for my biostats lecture to start when I received a call from my mother saying that my grandfather was in the hospital. Later that day, I was in the library studying chemistry with a friend because that was one of the midterms that we had on Friday and I could not think straight. I had the worries of both biostats and chem on Friday, a chem lab exam on Wednesday, and I had just received news that my grandfather was in the hospital.
This is a lot to deal with at once.
Yeah, it is a lot of stress due to an infection that he had that had reached his bloodstream. That's when shit gets real.
That's really bad.
Having watched so many medical shows lately, it's like that infection's...
Robin's an expert now. She can tell you exactly what needs to be done for this.
That infection's gone to your bloodstream, it's like the world's ending. My mind was moving 1,000,000 miles a second, and I had to excuse myself to the bathroom because I started to have an anxiety attack and was trying my absolute best to calm myself down before I had a full-blown panic attack. That night, I had to call in to my work for the night because there was no way I was going to be able to go in with such anxiety.
I would like to do a quick side story here. I was working full-time and going to school full-time when my grandmother got sick on my dad's side. And she did eventually pass away. So I completely empathize with this story, and I understand that. And I hope your story is going to continue in a different aspect than mine. I won't say where I worked at the time, but I will say that my grandmother passed away, and I called them to let them know when the funeral arrangements were. And I had been, going to work and working every day and then going to see her. And I told them, like, hey, this is the day the funeral is going to be. So you get 3 days grievance leave. And I told him, like, it's going to be Wednesday, this is happening, then this is happening Thursday, and then she's going to get buried on Friday. She was being cremated. So it was wake, cremation, and then funeral. And so the day of the wake, they called me when my shift was supposed to start and said, like, hey, just so you know, because the wake and the funeral aren't on back-to-back days, we're only giving you 1 day of grievance leave. So we need you to pick which day you're not going to be here. And since you're already not here, it should probably just be today. And I told them, like, I don't care, like, what your rules are, because you clearly just made them up. And I'm pretty sure it's illegal to only give someone 1 day of grievance leave. But I'm going to be here for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and I'll see you on Monday. And I hung up on them, and I was fucking furious. And so we had this wake, and then we had someone from my work show up in sweatpants and a t-shirt. This lady who had been sent there to check and see to my grandmother's wake to check and see whether or not I was lying. And she came in and saw me. She's like, "I'm really sorry for your loss," and then she left. And I was like, she was clearly here just to see whether or not there was an actual fucking wake. And I was fucking so pissed. So then Thursday we had the family time and the cremation happened, and then Friday we had the funeral, so we buried her. And then I went in on Monday, and they brought me into the office, and it was like my boss and her boss, and they sat me down, and they're like, "So we need to talk about this." And I was like, "What do we need to talk about?" And they're like, "Well, because you didn't show up, it's technically 2 instances of no call, no show." I was like, "Well, I did call, so that's not true." And they said, like, "Well, we're just going to give you a write-up." And I said, "Oh, no, you don't even have to worry about that. Like, I'm putting in my notice." And they're like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "I cannot fucking believe how horrible of people you are right now. Like, there's no reason for me to work here anymore." And I was like, it's not even a 2-week notice. It's a 1-week notice. You guys can figure it out. And they didn't know what they were going to do, because we had a team of like 12 people, and my pipeline was a third of the team's pipeline. Because that's how much shit I did.
Pipeline is their workload.
Yeah. And I had so many vendors that I was working at the time, and I was so fucking pissed that they would do that to me and send someone to my family's wake just to see if I was lying or not. Like, I would make up that my grandmother passed away. I was so pissed. I'm obviously still pissed about it. And that's when I say, like, it's your life. Do what you need to do. Like, yeah, I was in college and I needed money because I moved out on my own, and I've been out on my own for like 2 years. And I was like, fuck this. I'll find another job. Like, you can take this job and shove it up your ass. I was fucking furious.
The anger is still there.
Then I quit. And then like a month later, the company got sold, and they cut like 90% of that staff.
Wow.
And all the people that treated me like shit, they all got the fucking axe because they deserved it, because that's what fucking karma is. So yeah, that's my fun story about being 21 and working in corporate America with a bunch of assholes who think they can just change the rules and treat you like garbage. So I walked out on that job, and I went and I found another job. So fun stuff. Robin's trying to chug her drink right now before she has to start reading again.
I was just trying to get the last bit of it.
If she gets a refill, I better get a drink, because I totally requested one in the chat. So I want to make sure if another refill comes up, there's one for me.
So Tuesday came around, and it was a stressful blur. When I got home from work, I was exhausted, overwhelmed, and sick, so I immediately went to bed. At first, I struggled to go to sleep because I was so nervous for my lab exam the next day, and my whole body was in overdrive, leading me to fall asleep with a heavy feeling in my stomach and my heart slightly fluttering. That night, at around 4 or 5 in the morning, I had an anxiety attack in my sleep. I woke up the first time with my whole body tense and shaking, my jaw clenched, heart racing, and I couldn't breathe. It was like my whole chest was constricting. I kept going in and out of consciousness, like my body was trying to force itself to go back to sleep, but it just couldn't. I would black out and then wake up with my breathing becoming a lot more fast-paced and my heart feeling like it was going to burst from my chest. I could feel myself starting to hyperventilate and going to a panic attack when I blacked out again. This sounds like the worst.
It sounds like a horrible panic attack while you're trying to like wake up, but your body keeps trying to put you back to sleep, which has got to be even more stressful because you feel like you're dying and then you feel like you're passing the fuck out.
Right. And it's weird because like how the mind and body works, you never know. It's just it works in mysterious ways. It's crazy. Next thing I know, I'm sitting on the floor of a completely black room facing a wall that was part of a hallway. So I sat next to the entrance, but instead of facing down the hall, I was facing the wall where it started. I was shaking and sobbing, and I was sitting there immediately expecting my grandmother to walk out from the hall. But because I was aware of the fact that I was somewhat asleep, I wasn't actually thinking I would see her. It's like I wasn't completely asleep, but I wasn't conscious. I was in that weird in-between state. And for some backstory, I lost my grandmother, who was like my mother growing up, when I was 16, and I am currently 18, getting ready to turn 19. So of course I was yearning to see her, but I wasn't letting myself get my hopes up. However, a few seconds later, my grandmother turns the corner and emerges from the hall. That's crazy.
Yeah. This is getting really intense.
I was in such disbelief that I jumped up from my spot on the floor and stood there staring at her. The next part is something that still blows my mind. Everything that happened from here on out, I physically felt. She pulled me into her by my arm and proceeds to hold me while I sobbed into her shoulder. I know personally, when I dream, I don't feel it. Like I've been
That's
tossed,
like one of the things they tell you to do, like pinch yourself in your dream and you won't feel it and then you'll know you're sleeping.
I've been tossed from a car in my dream, never felt it, like landed in water and stuff. I've never felt it. So the fact that you could feel this dream is crazy.
Super intense.
Even in my semi-conscious state, I know for a fact that I felt her touch and her holding me. After a few seconds of me crying in her arms, I blacked out again and I calmed down from my anxiety attack and fell back asleep. That night was the first time that I've seen my grandmother since she passed away 2 years ago, and I don't think anyone else in my family has seen her at all. The next morning, I called my mother to tell her what happened, and she started crying, saying that she knew no matter what, that my grandmother will always be one of our guardian angels. I want to thank you guys for taking the time to read my story. I love you guys on the podcast and hope you have a good rest of your week. Thank you so much, Alexis.
We really appreciate you sending that. It's a really, really good story.
Yeah.
I love the idea of guardian angels, and like even if it's something where someone can rationalize it away, like you clearly had a dream, it's like, yeah, you had a dream that was so vivid and intense that it stopped your panic attack. It's like, so say what you want and call it what you will, but like that is super intense and that's super, super powerful. So thank you so much for sending that.
All right, so we're gonna go back.
You don't have any thoughts on guardian angels, or you just want to
Well,
jump
no,
straight to Twitch chat?
I don't know if my family has any. I know my mom likes to make fun of my dad because anytime she does anything mean to my dad, something bad happens to her, and she's just like,
That's
it's
hilarious.
She's like, it's your dad's parents like torturing me or something.
That's funny.
So yeah, so my mom thinks that my dad's protected by his parents, which is hilarious
And very sweet. I actually really like that story.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, I don't think my family really has. I mean, my mom's parents are still alive.
Yeah, you haven't been to a lot of like funerals or anything like that. We talked about that
So it's
before.
a little different for me.
I've always thought my grandfather on my dad's side was my guardian angel. I used to have the cross that was in his coffin. They give it away at the end of the ceremony.
Yeah.
Don't say give it away, give it away now.
How did you know?
Because I saw your mouth start to move. And even though it's like a touching story, you're like, let me toss in a Red Hot Chili Peppers reference really fast. Shout out to Red Hot Chili Peppers. Hit me up, flea. But yeah, I used to have his cross over my bed because I used to have nightmares and I used to have sleep paralysis and night terrors and all that shit. And a lot of it just started going away after I did that. And it like I got to a point in my life where no matter where I went, I always took the cross with me and I put it over my bed.
Yeah.
And at some point I was just like, you know what? I'm okay now. And I gave it to someone else who needed it in my family.
Really?
Because they were having a hard time. And I'm like, this really worked for me. Like, and I want you to take this because I hope it works for you too. So yeah.
That's awesome.
So I want to thank everyone one last time that emailed us, and I want to thank everyone that joined us live on twitch.tv/scarishpodcast and youtube.com/scarish. You guys can join us every week, Wednesday at 6:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, which is the West Coast time. If you want to watch us record these live, it's a really, really fun time. And if you guys have only listened to these and you're thinking, maybe I should watch one of those, they are archived on YouTube. You can always go and check them out. And this would probably be a good one because Robin is pretty, I wouldn't say drunk.
I'm not drunk.
She's definitely tipsy.
And,
It's been a really fun show. So if you want to go check those out, absolutely do that. We are going to change the times when the next semester hits, and we'll let you guys know what that'll be, but we won't have to worry about that until January.
Yeah.
And we'll figure it out along the way. So if you want to send us your stories, you can email storytime@scarish.com. You can message us on Facebook at facebook.com/scarishpodcast. You can join our Facebook group, which is the Scarish Spooky Friends group. If you want to post there, go for it. Post for some instant feedback. Post some fun memes. Post whatever you want. It's a fun time. Don't be rude or offensive. There's always all those like normal rules, like don't be a jerk, and everything will work out. You can also go to scarish.com. Our website has a submission form now. Just click contact us. You get our email address. You also get our P.O. box if you want to mail us something. No severed heads or explosives. That's what we always say.
We love Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yes, please don't kill her and send us her head. And then there's a form that you can just fill out if you want to send us your story right then and there. You can also message us on Instagram at Scarish Podcast or message us on Twitter at Scarish Pod. Robin, there's ways people can donate to us as well, isn't there?
Yes, if you would like to go to patreon.com/scarishpodcast, we do monthly donations there.
We do. Meadows over in our Twitch chat said, Nerd Chills, episode 21. That's a deep
go
cut.
listen to it.
No.
Don't.
They're saying that that's what this reminds them of.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. No finger guns this episode, though.
Yeah, except I did poke my microphone once. But go to patreon.com/scarishpodcast. It's monthly donations. We do have tiers that do include physical merch, like Adam just went out and mailed out all our badges for this season.
This is true.
And I made zipper pulls this time, so you can put it on your backpack or keychain or whatever.
You can even put it on your fly on your pants if you want to be like really supportive. Because it is a zipper pull, and if you have a zipper there, like I say, go for it.
Yeah, and this season I mailed those out with the Chug Some Corn stickers. I thought they were super duper cute.
If you don't know what Chug Some Corn is, that's because you probably only
that
listen.
is also a deep cut.
It's a deep cut, except it's a deep cut from this show, from just some crazy conversations we've had during the live shows. So
yeah, and we appreciate everything that you guys do because we couldn't be here without you, and it's so fun, and interacting with you guys and getting to know you guys is amazing. And there are tiers on there on Patreon that we actually send out like physical cool stuff. I go shopping for you guys pretty much, and I send out like a little goodie package where I'll include, sometimes it's like candy that I'm eating, coffee that I'm drinking, but sometimes
movies
it's like movies, books, stuff that it's like stuff that has to do with our lives, which is really cool. So hopefully you guys will join us, and any little bit really does help. And we're this close to getting to go to the Winchester Mansion.
We need 50 patrons. I think we're almost at 40, so we're almost there.
We're almost there. And
one-time donations.
One-time donations, if you go to ko-fi.com, ko-fi.com/scaryish podcast. Those are one-time donations, and all those one-time donations will help us upgrade our studio setup. And I'm sure you guys are like, oh, it looks good already, but you have no idea.
You have no idea.
No idea. But other than that, like, there's donating here live on the channel, and
those are all going to go for the month of December, like we said, to the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So we thank you to everyone who's donated, and big shout out to everyone who watches us live. We love you guys. You make this super fun, and you tolerate us when we're stupid or silly or taking pee breaks or drinking. And you guys are the best. It makes it like a really, really enjoyable experience. I never get nervous to do this show live because I don't think it's a big deal. I think it's really fun to actually hang out. I look forward to it. I just get nervous that it won't work because I don't want to not have this show because it's super, super fun. So we appreciate all you guys, and I think that's just about everything.
Have a good night and keep on creeping on, and we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.